50-20 is the most difficult thing in Ultimate Custom Night. This difficulty mode might even be the most difficult thing in the Scott Cawthon mainline series. Aside from extra modes such as 50-20 No Death Coin, for example, this is the most difficult mode. Today, I am going to show you how you can beat Ultimate Custom Night 50-20 mode and how you can approach it. My knowledge for it, and just some of the extra things that you may not know going into the mode. Starting off, don't do this until you've beaten 49-20 mode. Beating 49-20 is the main crucial step to beating 50-20, since most of 50-20 is sitting around and doing 49-20. The second thing that you're going to want to do is need knowledge for coin farming. I'm going to show you how you can coin farm in 50-20. Just know that if you already know coin farming, you're going to have more of an advantage than, say, someone who doesn't know coin farming. I wouldn't say coin farming is needed before going into 50-20. In fact, I had no knowledge before I went into it, and I eventually beat it. Also know that is a huge jump from 50-20 to 49-20, and you're not going to get it immediately. So just don't expect to. It honestly took me 3 months since I beat 49-20 to beat 50-20, and it was a long 3 months of vicious grinding. Okay, with that, you might be all set. Now let's talk about offices. For offices, I recommend you go for Office 4. This is because it's the brightest office, which makes it best to help you time your ventilation resets, as well as just overall having the best helpy position, up high, and is pretty easy to flick and get. I also want to say that if you don't like Office 4 very much for whatever reason, the next best office is Office 1, then 3, and then Office 2 would probably be the worst office. Now let's talk about power-ups. I honestly would go for just not doing power-ups at all. But if you're going to use power-ups, stick with 3 coins and 102% power and frigid. 3 coins would be the most helpful power-up because it reduces the amount of coin farming needed, and it can help reduce RNG and just the amount of time it takes to coin farm. Next up is 102% power because it can help with power usage. Power is not at all lenient in 50-20 mode, and it is a really difficult thing to manage. So any advantage that you can get when it comes to power is what you're going to want. Frigid doesn't help too much in the long run, but if you're having trouble with Jacko Chica, then you can use Frigid. Finally is DD Repel. It's completely useless and serves no purpose in 50-20 mode. It doesn't stop XOR from spawning. And finally, turn off visual effects before going into the night. This is going to reduce overall lag, and it honestly just makes it easier, smoother, and better to play. This is all stuff which you should be familiar doing in 49-20. Alright, now let's get into actually explaining the night. As soon as the night starts, hold down 1 and space to turn the power gen on and the fan off, giving you as much power as possible as starting the night. When starting off the night, go ahead and move the wet floor sign to the right side of the screen, and then go into the cameras. Then immediately go to the duct system and place an audio lure in the very center left, right here on screen to be exact. Now press F to shut the side vent, because BB and JJ will be entering there soon. Go back to the cam system and head to cam 8. By now you should have heard a thud from BB or JJ, so you can open the side vent back up and look through Toy Freddy's TV. Search through the cameras, and when you find Mr. Hugs, shut that off. Then go to cam 7. Then immediately shut down the cameras, put the mask on immediately as to avoid Golden Freddy, click Helpy, flash Nightmare BB, and you know the deal at this point. From here, it's time to start coin farming. Now, we're not going to do the regular coin farming as flipping through the cameras and searching for fast coins like that. 50-20 is way too crowded and difficult to be doing that. Instead, you're going to flip the camera up and down again and then put on your mask immediately to avoid Golden Freddy. Now you should see BB or JJ and Helpy. Closing off BB or JJ gives you a fast coin as well as clicking Helpy. Close off the side vent to avoid BB or JJ and then get the fast coin once you hear a thud. Then you can go ahead and click on Helpy. Side note, anyone that shows up at a door or vent will also give you a fast coin when they appear, so just keep that in mind. Open back up the side vent, flash Nightmare BB if he's standing up, and then do the cam flip again. In the first link in the description, I'm going to leave you a link of what optimal coin farming should look like, and just a side note, you don't need to go as fast as that video did. If you try to go too fast, you'll probably just die to something otherwise or any other cause. Also, if you ever see Scrap Baby aggressive, just go ahead and shock her. She doesn't kill you immediately, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem in 50-20. Avoid 13 seconds when coin farming to avoid not Nightmare Bonnie, but Withered Bonnie and Rockstar Bonnie of showing up. Also, your first GMB cycle is going to be at 14 seconds, so make sure you turn the GMB on when that happens. Anyways, you're going to want to have 10 fast coins by around 20 seconds, or at least it depends on when XOR spawns. You're going to want to move the wet floor sign back to the left by 20 seconds into the night, and now it's time to start talking about XOR. If XOR spawns at 0:11, his earliest spawn, then Plush Trap is going to appear at his earliest time of 0:25. Now you'll have to note that Nightmare Bonnie, again, not Nightmare Bonnie, what am I saying? Withered Bonnie and Rockstar Bonnie have a chance of spawning in the office on 13-second intervals. 26 seconds is a 13-second interval, so you will not want to be in the cameras when that happens. Instead, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going into the camera at 26 seconds. Don't worry, you won't have the cameras loaded at 26 if you go in at 26. So you're going to go in pretty much as soon as the interval passes. When you go into the camera, shut the forward vent and switch between the vent and the cam system to despawn the phantom animatronics. Then buy the death coin, shut off the side vent to avoid BB or JJ, and then go over and buy and use the death coin on Funtime Foxy in Cam 6. Now you can open the side vent and reset ventilation while watching Plush Trap leave. Once Plush Trap leaves, go to Cam 2, drop the monitor, and put the mask on to avoid Golden Freddy. You can then open the forward vent, and you should be good to go for the rest of the 49-20 segment. Keep GMB cycling in mind, and as soon as you exit the camera, it should be around 0:31, which lines up well with the GMB cycling. If you don't know what GMB cycling is, I'm going to be talking more about it later on in this video. Skip to the timestamp on screen if you want to learn it right now. Anyways, if XOR spawns at 0:21, then Plush Trap is going to spawn at 0:35. Remember though, Rockstar and Withered Bonnie have an interval at 0:39. At 0:39, you're going to want to go in instead of 0:35. Speaking of 0:35, you can use the heater for about 2 seconds until 0:37. This can just avoid RNG for Orville and Nedbear. Anyways, after it hits 39 seconds, shut the left door and forward vent, go into the camera, and switch between the vent and cam system just like before. Shut off the side vent to block off BB and JJ, buy the death coin, and the rest of the deal is the same. When you get back, open the left door and side forward vent, and you should be lined up well with GMB cycling. When it comes to Nightmare Chica spawning, wait for a little bit for the GMB to go off a little longer instead of just dealing with her immediately. Just because when using it immediately when Nightmare Chica spawns, it can make the GMB cycling thrown off a lot and Puppet can get out of the box. Instead, just wait a little bit. You can use the AC when it becomes a little bit more time when the GMB runs, and then whenever it's time to switch back to the power gen, go ahead and turn the power gen on a few seconds after you're supposed to turn it on. If Rockstar Freddy is asking for 5 coins at this point or onwards during the death coin sequence, you only should use the heater if you absolutely have to. If you can pay him, because the GMB cycling is going to be pretty difficult to deal with when dealing with both Nightmare Chica and Rockstar Freddy. It is still possible, but if he does end up asking for 5 coins, and you do have 5 coins, pay him instead of just kind of waiting and to use the heater. It's just overall better to not throw off GMB cycling whenever you're able to do so. Anyways, now it's time to explain the rest of the XOR spawns. At 0:31, Plush Trap will appear at 0:45. This is exactly the same setup as before, except instead of going to Cam 2 whenever you get done with Death Coining Funtime Foxy, drop the monitor now and then wait until 0:45 seconds. Then go back into the cameras to watch Plush Trap leaves, and then reset ventilation and go to Cam 2. Everything now should be the same as it was 0:21, and do the exact same thing if it was a 0:41 spawn. Instead of waiting until 45 seconds, you're going to wait until 55 seconds. If XOR spawns at his latest possible time of 0:55, then that becomes impossible. You see, when cam stalling on Cam 2, you have to be there by 1 minute and 5 seconds. Turns out when Plush Trap spawns, it's going to be 1 minute and 5 seconds. Therefore, you're going to die automatically. If XOR does not spawn within 0:41, just start the night. It's no longer winnable. Okay, with that, you should have the death coin sequence done. Congratulations, it's time for the easy part of the night, aka the 4920 part. Try to keep your mouse cursor on the very left or right side of the screen to avoid Nightmarian. Now I'm going to talk about GMB cycling. GMB cycling is the process of avoiding Puppet, Music Man, and Chica. Basically, whenever the last 2 digits on the timer are 31 or 01, press 1 and space. This will turn on the power gen and the fan, and it basically will help save power and cool the office down. Whenever your last 2 digits are 14 and 40 or 44, press 5 and space. This will turn the GMB on and the fan off. With this, it will deal with Marionette, Chica, and the Music Man all simultaneously. Here are the timestamps in which the GMB cycling will be occurring. Just know if you end up running the power generator for too long, run the GMB for longer to compensate, and I guess vice versa on that. Now I'm going to be talking about Foxy. If the Foxy figurine is on the desk, you want to do a thing called a 0 frame flip. A 0 frame flip is when you flip the camera up for exactly 0 frames. This will not mess with anything in the office except for the Foxy figurine. To do this, you can press S and then quickly mouse over the camera button, or you can just mouse over the camera button twice quickly simultaneously. When this happens, this should change the Foxy figurine to Bonnie. If not, just do another flip until it does. When the Bonnie figurine is on the desk, you're good. The Bonnie figurine will only change to a Foxy figurine, or the Foxy figurine will only change to a Bonnie figurine on cam flips. So make sure whenever you do a cam flip, you're looking out for that figurine. As always, flash Nightmare BB if he ends up standing up, and if he's not standing up, do not flash him when he's over there. You can let Phantom Freddy jump scare you on the first jump scare around 15 seconds into the night, Otherwise, you're going to want to be dealing with him. Make sure that whenever you do deal with Phantom Freddy, instead of holding the flashlight, you quickly, repeatedly just flash the light over and over again. This helps you save power and it helps you deal with the frettles quicker. Now let's talk about ventilation resets. You're going to want to do these as late as you can get away with, or at least as late as you feel comfortable with. The reason you want to do these as late as you possibly can is to try to flip cams up as little as possible. When you flip cams up, it provides a chance for Toy Freddy and Foxy to kill you. Because of this, you want to flip up your cams as little as possible, and to avoid flipping your cams for more times, you're going to want to do these as late as you possibly can. Ventilation resets will usually be occurring every 45 seconds, and every 30 seconds you're going to get a ventilation error. And every 50 seconds is when it's going to completely go out. So again, the sweet spot is to shoot for 45 seconds. That way, if you do it a little bit late or a little bit early, you still should be able to have time. Your last ventilation reset should be around 3 minutes and 42 seconds or 3 minutes and 43 seconds. And then you really should just be good to continue the night normally from there. With that, I think I've talked about everything that you need to know for the 4920 segment. However, I really think that the XOR animatronics are confusing because they don't have documentations, so I'm going to explain them before I end the recording. Firstly is RAQWFS or something. Everyone just refers to them as Shadow Bonnie. They're just going to make it so you can't see what doors are shut at the time, but you should be keeping track of it anyways, and for most of the time that they even appear on screen, you're going to be doing the death coin sequence anyways, so you're not really going to have a problem with them. Then there is Plush Trap. We already explained how to deal with him in the death coin sequence, and I'm not going to explain him again. You just need to be on cam 6 when it's time for him to leave, and then he's gone forever. Next up, I'm going to talk about Lolbit. You deal with her just like you do in Sister Location. Just type LOL on the keyboard when the please stand by shows up, and she will never come again. As for Nightmare Chica, just press 4 when her teeth are closing in to turn on the power AC. Then when her teeth go out, just go ahead and switch back to your normal GMB cycling, and then she's gone forever. During the GMB cycling, as I've said, run the GMB for longer if it's on a GMB cycle. For example, if you had the AC on for 3 seconds, then you're going to run the GMB for 3 seconds longer if you have to switch back to the GMB after you're done with Nightmare Chica. Next up, there is Bonnet, who's the only one of the XOR animatronics that can appear multiple times throughout the night. And you deal with her exactly as you do in Sister Location. Just click her nose. Finally, there is the Mini-Arenas. They will appear on screen, and it's just going to block your vision for about 45 seconds or until the next AM hits. They will always appear on your first ventilation reset after you're done with the death coin sequence. And with that should have showed you how you can beat 5020. Let me know in the comments if you think that I missed anything, but with that, you should all be good to go. I hope that this guide may have helped you beat 5020. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.
Please deposit 5 coins. 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 Please deposit, please deposit. Please deposit. Thank you for depositing 5 coins. Depositing 5 coins.
Today is all about me, me, me.
For depositing 5 coins.
Don't get distracted. Today is all about me, me, me.
Thank you for depositing 5 coins.